This is Aussie Mac Zone. We'll cover everything Apple, including Macs, iPhones, iPads, and more. All this from an Aussie perspective. Sit back, relax, and insert yourself into the zone. The Aussie Mac Zone.
Hi everybody, welcome to show 318, Aussie Mac Zone. Zarn, how are you?
Fantastic, Michael. How are you?
Very good, thanks, mate. Have a big weekend?
Yes, huge.
Excellent, excellent. Tonight, IT Helps You and Microseconds are our supporters, as well as you, our listeners, as I say.
Always.
Now, still again, a big thanks to all the firefighters, defence personnel and volunteers across Australia and all the one from overseas. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Absolutely.
And also, not mentioned previously, the wildlife workers and volunteers and all of the national parks officers, and they're all working their butts off. So yeah, we just want to recognise
the wildlife park, all those places that are taking in injured animals, where they can and helping place them somewhere where they can recover.
Yeah. So thank you to everybody. It's been a big few months.
No fizzy drink when we go live.
So our Aussie Apple ramblings. Now I'm leading with a non-tech story.
Hello, Kellyanne. Thank you for watching.
Yes, hello, KAD. Now, leading with a non-tech story, courageous border collie leads 900 sheep to safety during Australian bushfires.
That's fantastic.
My Modern Met reported, when tragedy strikes, communities pull together, and is exactly what's been happening across Australia due to the devastating bushfires. Among some of the biggest heroes, particularly when it comes to protecting and rescuing animals, have been some incredible working dogs. Now a news story is emerging about Patsy, a 6-year-old border collie and kelpie mix, who was essential in helping save her owner's farm and livestock. Collies are known for their incredible drive and work ethic, which is being put in good use in this urgent time of devastation. Just like Bear, another border collie mix who has helped bring koalas back to safety, Patsy guided a large flock of sheep away from a fire danger zone. According to Kath Hill, whose brother Stephen is Patsy's owner, this brave dog stayed back with her owner in order to make sure that their farm and large flock of livestock were protected in the face of the fire. For her part, Hill and her family were forced to evacuate just before New Year's Eve when fires hit their farm on the other side of the valley in the town of Corryong. Hill's brother was spared on that occasion, but any change to the weather could have caused embers to spark fires close by, and in many photos posted to Patsy's Instagram, it's clear that the flames aren't that far off. Lucky for Hill's brother, Patsy was right by his side the entire time. For Patsy, funnily enough, the fires don't really make much of a difference. She's a border collie kelpie cross, so she's working dog through and through. Hill shares, these dogs have been bred for generations to develop their ability to work with sheep and cattle on farms, and they are very intelligent and resilient animals. They love to work, it's just what they are bred to do, and they can be very focused and single-minded on the job. So when my brother needed Patsy to help bring the sheep into safety, that's exactly what she did. She just got on with her job and did it, regardless of the conditions. Cool, calm and collected.
That's so cool.
Yeah. And it showed you just a massive flame on the other side of their paddock, and the dog that was just one of the pictures. Now, as her owner used a tractor equipped with a water tank to keep the flames that crept close to the property at bay, Patsy got to work. She herded up the farm's flock of 900 sheep and led them safely to a paddock away from the fire. Working together as a team, the dynamic duo managed to save all but a handful of the animals, as well as all of the buildings on the property except for a few sheds.
Excellent.
I'd have been stuffed without Patsy, Stephen Hill told SBS News. She's earned front seat privileges for the rest of her life. Which is what is that? Yeah.
Yep, that's fair enough.
Yeah. If anyone has ever doubted the intelligence of these animals, Patsy's fearless effort will change your mind. Hill hopes that by getting Patsy's stories out to the public, more people will be encouraged to help where they can. Hers is a positive beacon of light in a time when, for many, there's not too much to celebrate.
Yep, that's right.
So, well done, team.
Well done. Okay, Tracy, thanks for watching.
Yeah. Now, the Apple iPod, the Apple iPad.
Watch,
the
AirPods. and among top 10 best gadgets of the decade. 3 iconic products from Apple have made it to the Time magazine's most significant 10 gadgets of the decade list. These are Apple iPad 2010, Apple Watch 2015, and AirPods 2016. Google Chromecast 2013 made it. Amazon Echo 2014 made it, and Raspberry Pi 2012, and other innovative inventions that make it onto the list. Before the iPad's introduction in 2010, the idea of a tablet computer was mostly related to slick science fiction movies. I wouldn't say science fiction movies, I'd say science fiction TV programs like Star Trek, because they had iPads before we had iPads.
Yep.
Next gen used them. Anyway, it's like science fiction movies and unwieldy laptop adjacent. What's this? Monstrosities running troubled software. The report said Apple's iPad, like the iPhone before it, resulted in a cultural shift for personal computing and set the tone for the next decade of portable devices. Its impressive multi-touch display completed a complete abandonment of physical keys and gargantuan selection of software and media created a perfect storm of entertainment that everyone could get on board with, it added. A masterstroke from CEO Tim Cook. No one has been able to match the polish and performance of the Apple Watch, which set the standard for what a smartwatch can do. Now, that's true. It's amazing. Today, Apple Watch is packed with health features, including an ECG and what was that, fall detection?
Yep.
First released in 2016, AirPods quickly became an icon in their own right. I love the AirPods. I have some myself. I think they're fantastic. AirPods even carry social significance, transforming them into earbuds that double as not so subtle status indicator, said the report. Apple is expected to show a significant turnaround in Q4 this year, fueled by AirPod Pro in 2020. Apple will maintain a strong market leader based on its loyal customer base, with advanced products and marketing strategies in the wearables segment, says Counterpoint Researchers hearables market forecast. The company is likely to maintain 50% of the true wireless hearables market shared globally in 2020.
So what about? Yeah, that's three good products.
Three excellent products. Yeah. The watch for how many stories in the last however long we've been doing this for have we had about the watch saving someone's life?
Yeah.
You know, that alone, it makes it worth the money that to buy one.
Yeah, and we had a friend of the family who's been using a Fossil watch, which has got Google software, and I don't know, 4 or 5 weeks ago, it did a update.
Yep.
Now it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Like it just works as a watch, and it's not a smartwatch. Doesn't matter whether you restart it, re-wipe it out, reinstall the software. It's just it's not a smart watch anymore. It's just a watch.
That's weird.
So,
I wonder what happened.
Yeah. So, but why like Apple's old story? It just works.
Yeah.
Like
exactly.
Yeah, we've had some challenges with updates and stuff, but yeah, basically it just works. Yeah.
It's true though. It does just work.
Yeah. Now, at-risk youth get a fresh look and a fresh start. How one of Apple's team member is giving people in need new beginnings. There is a magic that happens in a barber's chair. a relationship is cultivated over years of service, conversation and connection with another in that finite window of time. There's also a transformation that leads to a new beginning. For Jazz Lemos, a San Francisco native and manager at the Apple Park Visitor Center in Cupertino, that connection and transformation planted the seed of an idea to help individuals experience homelessness. I started to become obsessed with, why do people open up in a chair, Limos says. In 2016, after Limos broke bread with a homeless man at a sandwich shop in Oakland, she was shocked to discover he was her father, who she hadn't seen since she was a teenager.
Wow.
She couldn't shake the feeling that she needed to do something. For months, she thought about the chance encounter, talking it over with her barber and contemplating how she could have a real impact on people's lives. It was then that she realised how easy it was to open up in the chair, and also how it felt to really see herself in the mirror afterward. When I recognised that there's so many different piecemeal options for someone to get help, and that entry point has to be just right where you can build a rapport. A barber was very organic way to open up and just feel better, Limos says. Coming face to face with her own family's hardships compelled Limos to focus on giving back to her community. A series of events followed that paved a path for her solution. Saints of Steel was born, a non-profit pop-up barbershop and makeover event for people in need looking for employment, housing and a fresh start. As CEO and founder of the new organisation, Limos would build Saints of Steel from scratch with the full support of her Apple family. In its first year, the organisation was almost fully funded by volunteers and donations from Apple.
Wow.
Our board was then first started, was primarily made up of Apple employees who just jumped in and rolled up their sleeves, Limos says. We saw the power of Benivity and the company match program because it funded the majority of our ability to run this program. That's where if an Apple employee donates money, Apple donate the same amount of money.
Yeah.
So if I donate, working for Apple, if I donated $1,000, Apple would, apparently there's no limit.
That's so cool.
So, yeah. So well done. Another Apple star.
That's a fantastic Apple story.
Yeah. So, a reminder that this week we are brought to you by Microseconds. Now, as I said, I've known Microseconds for 30 years. I trust them implicitly, so yeah, they're an awesome company. They're based in Ultimo in Sydney, but they'll ship anywhere in the world. It's simple as that. Really good company, second-hand Apple equipment. If you're after something, give them a ring, give them a go. It's that simple. So yeah. They've had some stuff for a while, but I know they've sold out of those at the moment. So, yeah, any sort of equipment, Apple equipment you want, iMacs, Mac Minis, MacBook Pros, Mac Pros, MacBook Airs, give them a call. Microseconds, microseconds.com.au. So. Any gaming this week, buddy?
There is just one game this week.
Yeah.
That I had a chance to play because it's been a pretty thick week for the kids and everything like that, so I haven't had much gaming time. But I got to play Battle Sky Brigade Harpooner. That's called.
Harpooner.
Get into Harpooner. This is a great arcade style game, like old school. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, if you liked 1927, the playing game where you're just sort of blasting and flying through, it will think 1927 but with bunnies. We're big fans of bunnies.
Bunnies, go Rabbitoh.
That's right.
Glory to Sassy.
I've starved him. What have I done? Yeah, so you get shot out of a slingshot. So you're in like sort of like a airplane bay, on a ship, But you get slung out of a slingshot and you're on a rope, and you go through and you're just blasting, in this ship, and you're sort of shooting everything in your way, and then the rope runs out. You come back, you throw out a net, and anything that you collect in your net that you bring back, you then get the keep, and you get your score. It all ends up, and then you do it again. It's really simple game, like 1927 is, that sort of stuff. But it's just really fun and really catchy. I love all these old school games. So it's nostalgia for me. And hopefully, you should check it out if you've got the Apple Arcade. Check it out. It's Battle Sky Brigade Harpooner.
Excellent.
Yeah, and that's my game for this week.
Thank you.
No worries.
Yeah, should always be looking at Apple Arcade.
Yeah,
they're still putting games out.
They are
still. Now our entertainment section.
What we got?
Which is, I think we talked about it last week. Apple's critically acclaimed anthology series, Little America, is now streaming on Apple TV Plus.
Yep.
It's an highly anticipated and critically acclaimed new anthology series, and it goes beyond the headlines to bring the life of funny, romantic, and heartfelt and surprising stories of immigrants in America.
That's what I remember talking about. That, yeah.
Now there's another one which we haven't talked about yet.
This is a really good one, actually.
Yeah. So the Beastie Boys. If you're into the Beastie Boys.
I'm into the Beastie Boys.
So it's the Beastie Boys story. It's a doc from Spike Jonze coming to Apple TV in April after an IMAX debut. So 9 to 5 Mac reports, we all know you got to fight for your right to party, and Apple is joining that fight this spring, US time. The all-new Beastie Boys story documentary is coming to Apple TV Plus in April after a limited release in IMAX theatres. Apple announced the non-fiction film that tells the inside story of the hip-hop group from the perspective of members like Mike Diamond and Adam Horovitz. Beastie Boys' story is based on the bestseller Beastie Boys book. The great Spike Jonze is billed as the music doc's director. Excellent.
I absolutely love the Beastie Boys. I've seen them live here in Australia more than once. I have almost all their music, right back from when they first started, when they were more of a punk band and a hip hop band, and then went through and did their hip hop stuff. I know a lot of my friends, Tony Kabanoff, massively inspired by them. He does hip hop now as well in the Blue Mountains. And I can't wait for this personally. I can't wait.
Excellent.
For this. So,
excellent. That's why we like to give people warning that it's what's coming up. So also remember, this week we are brought to you by IT Help to You, ithelptoyou.com.au. So if you need any Mac support, Mac advice, help, give us a ring and we'll try and point you in the right direction. It's as simple as that. We got a phone call from a recommendation, for example, from Microseconds today.
Excellent.
For someone who's getting their NBN in, but they've been told by their NBN supplier that it's going to have to be at the front of the house, not where their modem is currently, which is in their office.
Why can't they put it in their office?
Anyway, so because they don't want to do the cabling, or they don't blah blah blah. Yeah, so they're asking, all right, so what do we do to make sure that we keep getting a signal and we keep working on it? Yes, so
tell NBN to pull their finger out and do their job.
That too happened to my sister as well.
Yep.
And then you run into little things, is because you've moved where if you've got wireless telephones, not iPhones, etc., just wireless telephones, old school
landline,
landline
what used to be
to
be landline, but
if they've got to be at the front of the house, they don't necessarily work at the back of the house. They drop out, you know, things like that. So, and when you're old, like my sister.
Hi Jenny, I know you noticed that you're watching. That wasn't me.
Yeah, it affects your lifestyle, doesn't it? If you're used to just using your phone and they drop out, it's annoying, isn't it?
Leaving that one alone now.
So, how to get the AQI complication on your Apple Watch. LifeWire shows us how So what is Air Quality Index? AQI, Air Quality Index. So the AQI...
Thank you, I didn't know what it was.
There we go. The AQI is a 0 to 500 index for reporting air quality. The lower the number, the better the quality of air you're breathing. Generally, an AQI of 100 or less is considered satisfactory for everyone. 100 to 150 as unhealthy for a small amount of sensitive people, with highest scores translating to unhealthy, very unhealthy, and hazardous over 300, which we've had.
Like Sydney was for months.
Yeah, and Melbourne, like that day in Melbourne, like I think that was even rated as over 500. Like it was just way out there. But anyway,
it was way over 500.
Yeah, with WatchOS 6, you can force press the watch face you have showing, then swipe left and right to find a new one. Infograph Modular, Explorer, Digital, and many others have the ability to add an AQI complication to their faces. Choose a watch face with an area for a small circular complication, then tap Customize. Swipe left or right to highlight the circular space you want to put the AQI complication in. Some watch faces have more than one. Use the digital crown to scroll through the available complications until you find AQI. Generally, the complications are listed in alphabetical order. Once AQI is in the spot you want, press the digital crown once to go back to the watch face chooser screen, then press it again to go back to the watch face itself. You should see the AQ complication where you placed it, which on mine, as you can see, I've got AQI up here, and it just tells me up here what it is.
So at the moment, it's fantastic. Look at that, it's low.
It's much better.
We've had lots of rain, and there's been a few fires have been put out.
Yeah.
And our air quality and quality of life is a whole lot better.
Yes. So you can also, but it got warm again today.
It did. It was nice.
You can also add up an app for a dedicated AQI on your Apple Watch. So again, there'll be a link in the show notes to on how to do that again, or how to put dedicated AQI apps on. Now, these tips make text selection on iPhone and iPad far less frustrating. Cult of Mac shows iOS 13 and iPad OS fix the frustrating text selection tools on the iPhone and iPad, but only if you know how to use them. Selecting a single word or sentence is still way easier on a Mac because you have a mouse and keyboard. On the iPad though, you can still find the text selection slipping and jumping like an oiled fish.
I don't know.
So I've been having heaps of trouble on my phone doing text selection until I studied this again.
Yeah.
There are a few text selection oddities in iOS 13. The most annoying is that when you tap in the middle of a word, the text selection cursor appears at either end.
Yeah.
Either the end or the beginning of the word.
But if you hold it down for a little bit longer, it works.
On the Mac, if you click the cursor between an M and A of a Mac, that's where it goes. On iOS, you must tap the word first, then grab the cursor to place it where you actually want it.
Yeah.
This happens when you hook up a mouse to your iPad, and worse, the initial cursor placement can end up either at the beginning or the end of the word you tap, because the mouse is really big.
Yeah.
However, there are some excellent shortcuts that will make selecting text a lot easier on your iPhone or iPad. Note, these shortcuts and gestures work in actual text fields where you can edit the text. They don't work on non-editable text in an email or on a web page, for example.
Yeah.
Now, quick select. When you're in a text field, when you're typing text yourself in something like notes or pages, you can use the following tap gestures to select whole blocks of text. Double tap a word to select the whole word. Triple tap a word to select the sentence. Or quadruple tap, which is the same as double, only it selects the entire paragraph.
Sure.
Yep. Or smart select taps. One of the most annoying text selection tasks in iOS is trying to copy a URL, a phone number, or an email. If those
I was having trouble with this.
Yeah.
Only today. So, yeah.
So if those strings are on a web page, good luck.
Yeah.
You continue to struggle. have fun as you try to copy them, and instead they all open a new mail message or launch Safari or cause your iPhone to call someone when you're only trying to copy the number. However, if the text is all included in an editable text field, you can just double tap on an email address, a phone number, or a URL. iOS is smart enough to recognize these strings and to select them automatically. You can then safely copy them or share them. It even works with phone numbers, including spaces, brackets, and characters.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's excellent.
So it's just a matter of picking it right, doing the timing. So, yeah. Now we've got a story. So there's a guy called Sam Henry Gold launches the unofficial Apple archive. Mac Stories explains last summer Sam Henry Gold uploaded hundreds of images, videos and other historical Apple material to Google Drive from the company's earliest days to present. The collection didn't last long. The flood of people trying to download its contents slowed the archive to a crawl, and ultimately Gold took it down. The archive is back now at applearchive.org as an ad-free website organised by Decade. The collection, which Gold has dubbed the unofficial Apple Archive, includes a wide range of materials from press photos and keynotes to TV ads and Mac wallpapers.
Awesome.
There is even a healthy collection of unreleased materials, like the unreleased social media ad for AirPower, because they never made it.
Yeah.
The site includes search functionality that makes it easy to find something specific among the hundreds of items, or browse an entire product category. Images can be downloaded from the archive, but to deter downloading of videos, Gold is using a restrictive embedded Vimeo player. The desire to stop downloads is understandable, but it also means that videos cannot be embedded by others writing about them elsewhere, which is a shame.
Yeah,
and it's just to reduce the amount of traffic. And obviously there's heaps of traffic that people are interested in.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can probably go and get old school wallpaper for your phone, like an iPhone 1 type wallpaper.
Yeah,
or
that'd be awesome.
Early Mac, like really early Mac wallpapers.
I'd love to get like a green, the green screen. That'd be so cool.
Now,
when you turn it, I'd love to have my ringtone actually as the boom sound, or just even a message tone. That'd be so cool.
I'm sure we can arrange.
Yeah, we'll work that out. Yeah.
And
if we can work it out, we'll let you guys know too.
Yeah. Apple shared customer data with US government in a record high 90% of cases, even as Trump administration complains it's not doing enough. Business Insider is reporting Apple released its biannual transparency report on Friday, which included details about the number and type of government and private party requests for customer information that the company received globally. I don't know about the private party requests. I'm not sure about that. Apple said it received 3,619 account requests from the US government in the first half of 2019, nearly a 36% jump from the 6 months prior and more than previous periods. The report is available as far back as 2013. Account requests sent when law enforcement officers suspect illegal activity, typically seeking details of customers' iTunes or iCloud accounts, such as a name and address, and occasionally iCloud content such as stored photos, email, iOS device backups, contacts or calendars, the company said. For 90% of those requests, Apple provided the government with at least some information about the account in question, up from 88% during the previous period. Apple also said the request encompassed more than 15,301 customer accounts, another record high. But because they've gone from 88 to 90%, that can also be because the government are asking the right questions now, instead of just saying, I want this. Yeah. And Apple saying, well, we can't give it to you. But if they specifically say, I want the iCloud information that's available, then they get what's available.
That's exactly right.
Even if it isn't anything, they're getting what's available. Yeah. Now, the report comes...
What about all mine's encrypted?
the Apple stuff is encrypted, but if you've got other apps on your phone that you store on iCloud, that's not necessarily encrypted.
I don't really use other, except for Facebook and that.
There's WhatsApp or
I don't use that
stuff like that. Yeah, it's not necessarily encrypted.
Okay.
The report comes amid a heated standoff between Apple and the Trump administration over privacy and public safety, which was reignited this week after the company refused to help the FBI unlock a mass shooter's iPhones. Trump's Attorney General William Barr has repeatedly accused Apple and other tech companies of not doing enough to assist law enforcement in investigations. Specifically, Barr has expressed frustration with Apple's unwillingness to create a backdoor that would allow officials to access encrypted information stored on customers' devices. However, Apple's transparency report suggests that overall it has been overwhelmingly responsive to government requests for information. And in this latest case, even some FBI officials have reportedly taken Apple's side, saying that Apple has provided ample assistance. Apple has defended its use of encryption, saying in a statement to Business Insider, law enforcement has access to more data than ever before in history, so Americans do not have to choose between weakening encryption and solving investigations. We feel strongly encryption is vital to protecting our country and our users' data.
Absolutely.
The debate between Apple and the government has renewed concerns among privacy advocates that creating backdoors would undermine public safety, while security experts argue that the government has the ability to access encrypted devices without Apple's help. And there's stories all the time about certain bits of software unlocking the absolute current Apple phones, for example, and Google phones, blah blah blah. But yeah, this software made by an Israeli company that apparently can unlock your phone, and it's just a matter of doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. Yeah, basically that's until it finds the password, sort of thing. So that's why passwords are important. If you got a 8-letter password that just says Joe Fred or John Fred, it won't take long to get in. Yeah. So again, there'll be links to everything that we've talked about. The show link is updated every week. The link being this week aussiemaczone.com.au/AMZ318. There you'll see the last 6 weeks' show notes and shows. You can email Michael or Zarn at aussiemaczone.com.au. Anything you want to ask us, no problem whatsoever. Anything you want to ask. Spotify, you just search for Aussie Mac Zone. iHeartRadio, I believe you just search for Aussie Mac Zone. I posted something up on our Apple News Aussie Mac Zone page, asking the federal government and Vodafone, Telstra, and Optus about number spoofing this week. Why they're allowing it? Because I believe it should be fairly easy to stop.
Agreed.
Because all they've got to do is basically run an IMEI and number check at the same time, which takes a fraction of a second for every phone in the world, and it would stop. Yep. So, now, thanks to our supporters, microseconds and IT help to you, and more importantly, our supporters, you, our listeners.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Thanks for another great week. Slowly things are starting to come up, stories as people get back to work. And,
that's right.
School
holidays are almost over.
Yeah. So, over to you for the sign-off, champ.
Excellent. All right. Thanks, guys. Second show of the year. Had some so many watches tonight.
Excellent.
So thank you.
Excellent.
And so remember, an apple a day keeps the androids away. We'll see you soon. Bye.